everybody and welcome to Flame with a Forge channel. In this video I'm going to be painting the mini wheels on the Mini. I don't know if you've seen it lately. I've been doing like a mini beast. It's got like a 1.8, I think it's Lotus Elise engine in it. So it's a bit of a special car. And I'm going to make the wheels a little bit special. I'm just going to show you. We've got them all prepared here. There's one of them. I've got the other ones done. What I'm going to do is if I just bring the camera down a little bit, I'll be able to explain to you what's going on. So let's just go down that side of it. So what I've gone, they were in mint condition. The only thing is they have got a little bit of key to the actual wheel themselves. But I've just gone around with a grey scotch all the way around in all the gaps just because they're pretty much new. And anywhere that's got a defect on the rim here, you can't really see it, but there is like a little bit of rubbish in there from where they look like they've been painted before. I've just flattened it out with like a 320 and then gone over with a wet 600. And then we're going to be priming those edges, just touching in the silver so the silver looks good. What we're going to do is we're going to fine line the centres off. And when they've been fine lined off, we're going to be masking this section because obviously we want the outside rim a silver and we want the middle is going to be a 3-coat system, chrome orange, which is the same as his Lotus. So it's going to have the same colour as orange as his Lotus as he is on the centre of his mini wheels. And we're going to be doing, I don't know if you can see behind me here, the roof rack. It's an old school roof rack. We're going to do it in the bright 3-coat system as well. So what we want to do is we're going to have to paint it with primer and then we'll wait for that to dry. So it's going to be like a wet on wet system. And then we're going to do the base coat, which is an orangey colour, which is obviously the Lotus colour, and then there's a pearl colour to go on the top. And what I was going to do is just do the centres, but what I think I'm going to do to make it a little bit more trick is pearl the whole outside and the centres, so that gives the outside a nice pearl shine as well. And then we're going to be lacquering them to finish them with a top coat there. As you can see, I haven't popped the tyres. The rim there is enough to be able to just get the tape just underneath and scotch it in there, so that's absolutely fine. What we're going to do now is we're just going to get ready to prime them and then just get the edges done, and then I'll show you some fine lining. Okay guys, see you in a minute. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in preparation, and now that they're all masked up, is literally we just want some panel wipe, which looks like this, and you just put a bit on a rag, and then what you want to do is go around it. I know that we've masked it up, and usually you do this beforehand, but in this case it doesn't really matter as long as you don't get it all over the tape. So what you want to do is just put it all in the gaps, getting rid of any excess rubbish or dirt that may be on there. So there's a little bit of dirt on there, they are quite new. Any brake dust or any dust in general, just so that, I mean, there might be some like silicons on there or something, you know, someone might have sprayed some tyre shine on there, and if they did, then obviously you'll be in trouble because it will react when you're painting, and the last thing you want is reaction, because you will be very angry because you're going to have to do it all again. But once you've got in there, obviously go around, make sure you've got all the gaps and all the holes. Once that's all nice and dry, just going to quickly show you now, then you're going to want a tack rag. So this is like a little sticky rag. They're not a lot, they're like 80p from any parts store, and it's like a really sticky rag, and that just gets off any more of the dust. You want to kind of do this just before you're going to paint, but I'm just showing you here that you want to just go around the rim and get into all those gaps there, just like that. And what that does is that just literally just gets rid of any bits of dust or anything that you might have missed. And that's just what you need just before you prepare. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of them done, and then what we'll do, we'll come back when we're doing the primer and we'll get these edges all nice, and then I'm going to take you real close just in here just so you can see what I'm on about. So there was like a little hole there, so that's been filed out. On this one there was like the whole rim was sort of the paint was flaking, so what you need to do is get like a 180 or a 320 and then rub that down just so that all them edges are done. There's a little bit on that one as well, so they weren't in perfect condition, but we need to do it so that they're good. So what I'll do is I'll put you back up here, and then we'll go on to priming and getting the edges finished before we can do the set. Right, once you've shaken up your primer and you can hear the ball, obviously it's ready to go. Remember, always wear a mask because it's chemicals and you do not want them in your lungs. And I'm just going to go ahead and dust some primer on the bad bits, and we'll just let that dry off, and then we'll show you the next step. That's literally all that needs, guys. So once you've done a little dust coat on the areas that were bad, then we're going to be able to use a nice, what I've done is gone and got another like alloy wheel colour. So I'll just quickly show you, grab that. So literally it's just an alloy wheel colour like this, and it's non-gloss, so it's just the same, and then we're just going to be dusting the edges and just inside the same colour. We'll let that dry off, and then we'll be free to mask up and then get the centres painted. Okay, so now this has been left for 10 to 15 minutes. What we're going to need to do is just literally go over the top of this alloy wheel colour here. So I'm just going to show you how to dust that on. Try not to get too much, because I'm going to be fine lining this inside edge off to paint the middles the orange. Try not to get too much in there, because when you're fine lining and you peel the tape, that's when you're going to start peeling this off, and you want to make sure it's perfectly dry. So let's go ahead and get those done so you can see how it's done. And that is literally all you need. Going to let that dry off, and I'm just going to go and finish off the rest of them. That's all you need. We'll let to put on there. We'll let that all dry off, and then, like I said, I'll show you how to mask this and fine line it. We want to be careful not to obviously rip any of what we've done, so we're going to let that dry off well. Probably give it a good 20 minutes, and then we'll start fine lining. See you in a minute, guys. Okay, guys, so now that this is all dry, you'd want to feel on here to make sure it's good enough and that it doesn't peel when you kind of push fine line on it. So it seems to stick absolutely fine, so without it coming off. So once it's dry enough to do that, you can start masking it up, ready to paint the centres. So with fine line, it's quite difficult to do, but I'll just show you a little trick. So what you want to do is pull enough off, and then you want to sort of get some tape, just sit it on there. And then I like to work sort of this line here, just literally get it in and sit it where you want it to do the first line. So do a straight line, and then once you've done a straight line, just let the tape follow its contour, and then there's your first bit. So to do the next bit, you just need to keep spinning it. So what you want to do is just spin this around, and then you want to get the fine line, leaving it loose. And then what you need to do is you just need to figure out where you're going to go. So go to where you're going to go and leave it loose, and then follow your finger around like that, and then just keep going. Don't do this if you're nervous, because if you're sweaty or you're really nervous while doing it, what will happen is your sweat will absorb into the tape, and then the tape will not stick, and then when you paint it, it will seep through, and everything will be ruined. So try and stay calm. If you get frustrated, come back to it. Obviously you can't leave it too long, because obviously it's only just been painted, and you need to get the obviously the paint on it as soon as you can, because it will dry out and then it won't stick, and then everything will peel. So you need to work fast. I've already done the other three, which is why I'm showing you this one real quick. So again, when you get to an obstacle like this, just do it to near where you want it. Follow the line round, then go around to here. Keep following. Push that down as a contour there. I took my gloves off because gloves don't allow me to feel where I'm pushing and how well it's pushed down. So once you get to that sort of level, you can pull enough off and then rip it when you know that you're near the end, and then just dangle it out the way, because it's absolutely fine. It's just easier to work with. Then you just need to keep following it round. So work to there, and then push it down. Work to there, and then push it down. Don't pull it tight, let it go loose, because otherwise it won't follow it round. Then work to there, and then let it go loose. There we go. And then, obviously, like I said, keep spinning. And I know that's going to be too much, so I'm going to rip it here, get rid of that piece, and then again follow it down, keep following it around until it matches up with the other tape. So we're going to get it close to the other tape, so that's here, and then you want to just layer it over the top and then follow it too, and then go over the tape a little bit, but then with this piece fold it over so then you've got a bit to peel off later. So what you want to do is fold that over to like a little lip and bring it round to the side and sort of stick it out the way. Then just go around with your finger, make sure it's all stuck down. As you can see, it came away, and we'll do this again just before we paint it, because obviously we don't want it to be extra sticky, because we just don't. Right, once that's done, I know that this tape is not very sticky at all, so that's perfect for putting on top for the next layer. So what we're going to do now is just pull off tiny strips. I know you shouldn't, but you can't go around with one piece, it's just physically not possible. The tape will not allow it. And then you want to go just sort of halfway over the fine line, let the tape fall into place, and then push down like so. Just don't go over your edge that you've just been on. This tape isn't very sticky, it's not 3M. Do not drop on the floor. So you know that it won't ruin anything. So what you want to do again is just like literally lay it down halfway. Even if you got over halfway, it's fine. Just don't go to the line, and then that's it. Make sure it's stuck down near the fine line, but really not that important on the actual paint that you've just painted, because obviously you don't want that seeping through. Just keep spinning it round and work to it. Don't try and work upside down on a really weird angle. Just try and do it as well as you can. Let me just finish this up, because last thing you want to do is paint the centres, pull the tape off, and then all the paint comes off. That's the last thing you want, not now that you've come this far, because this is going to obviously take a long time to do. So again, spin it round. We're almost there, so I'll show you the next bit in a second. So it gets easier and easier as you go around, so you don't want any kinks. So if it starts to go off, let it go off, it's absolutely fine. You just don't want any kinks. Don't try and make the tape do something it shouldn't, because you'll end up with a kink. And a kink means, like if you get a piece and it kinks like that, then paint is going to get under there, you know? That is not what you want. I'm going to show you this in real time. I'm not going to edit this out at all, just because I want you to know how quick you can do something like this. So, we're almost there on this wheel. Like I said, the other three are ready to go. I'm a bit excited about getting it painted, but I don't want to rush it and it come out rubbish. So, I'm taking my time and getting there. So, right, that's gone up a bit, that's fine. Let's just put another piece on there. You shouldn't really do tape in sections, because tape in sections allows paint to get through, but when you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice. So that's that one done. So that's fine. Right, the next one is this 3M tape. It's like a 2-inch one. It's really big, and the problem with that is that it's really sticky. So what you want to do is get a section, put it on yourself, make sure you're not wearing any deodorant or anything or any chemicals, take it off, and now it's less sticky and it's really easy to put on. And once you peel it off, then you won't be peeling the paint off. So what you want to do is just go again over that layer, over the top, make sure everything is stuck down. We will run over it one more time afterwards. So we're going to do that. Then you want to do halfway again. Obviously you need to make sure you cover as much as you can. It doesn't matter too much if you do get a little spill, like on top of this layer here. You can use paper and back mask off, but it's just unnecessary. Once you're spraying, you're only spraying into the centres. You might get a little bit of overspray, but that doesn't matter, because you can just go around and just quickly touch that up before you peel the tape off with the silver. It's really not too much of an issue. You need to make sure that this tape sticks halfway on. There we go. Right, so I'm just going to leave it there and go all the way around, just because I've done this so many times that it's fine to do so. and I like to work awkwardly sometimes. We're almost there on this wheel, guys, trust me. So, let me just, I keep forgetting to put it on me. You want to make sure you put it on you because you don't want it too sticky. Sometimes pieces aren't that sticky, but... So, let me just stick these bits in here. Right, here we go, it's the last bit. So that goes in there, and then I'll show you the last piece that you need to put on. So because obviously it still isn't very high and you can still see that, you can then back mask off with the paper, but what I tend to do is literally just put another layer on right at the top, and then nothing will black splash over the top of there. So you want to keep, oh, I keep dropping the tape tonight. Once you pick the tape up, if it does fall onto the floor, please make sure that the tape hasn't got any rubbish or dirt on it. It's quite clean around here, so I'm quite lucky. And once this is all stuck down, you need to make sure, guys, that this tape hasn't got any gaps in it. You do not want orange on your silver paintwork. Trust me when I tell you that. You don't want to get this far and then build it up. We're going to be painting one wheel at a time. That's what we're going to be doing. So, we're almost there. That's going pear-shaped. Come on. Like that. And then just go around, make sure all these little gaps are done, fill them in. I'm going to go around and do this before I paint it anyway. Just make sure that the paint can't seep out or go anywhere that you don't want it to. Just follow that all the way around. And now these are ready to go. Okay, once you've finished painting the orange, this chrome orange tends to give off like a greeny glow here and there. it doesn't cover very well, so you're going to have to give it like 2 or 3 coats for it to cover. Once it's dry enough and you feel in here that you can touch it and it doesn't come off on your finger, then what you need to do is literally just carefully pull away the tape. Don't be too scared, don't be too shy. But always pull away from the wheel, so you're literally pulling it away. Just don't let it all fall into the centre. You should be left with your blue fine line. If this tape doesn't catch onto it, which it is, it's absolutely fine. Just pull it away. Make sure none of the tape is ripping the silver that you painted early on. If you keyed it up well, you shouldn't get any tears at all. Obviously, like I say, pull it away. Here we go. There you go. And then you should be left with this bit, which you literally just pull up and away, like so. Just take it around carefully, all the way around, until you end up back here. And there you go. Okay guys, so now that all the masking's off, what I'm going to do is I've got a pearl that I'm going to be putting on the whole thing. So, I don't know if you can see here. It's like really pearly, really nice. I'm going to put it over the silver and over the orange, just to give it a lovely effect. Let's have a go and see what it looks like. I don't think these are going to show their true potential until they're out in the sun, so I'll make sure I get a picture of them in the sunshine at work some point.